Joining us for more on tonight's topic is Mark Welsh, director of the Honor Flight at West Central Florida, and ABC 7 reporter Ray Collins. And thank you both for joining us. And Ray, that was just a terrific story. Mark, let me start with you by asking you, how many World War veterans do we still have out there?
We have approximately 650,000 nationally. We have about 30,000, 28 to 30,000 in the 10-county vicinity that you serve. We are losing them at 430 per day. So when we talk about our organization, we're in it for the long term, and we want to take our World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War vets, but ours is a sprint. We don't have time on our side, and we need to reach those veterans.
So therefore, how many of these trips do you make?
We have taken 25 so far.
Is that just in Florida, or?
Just in Florida. It's a national organization that began in 2005 when the World War II Memorial was just completed. Korean was completed in 1989, Vietnam in 1982. We finally got around to our greatest generation. But nationally, there have been approximately 160,000 war veterans taken, and with our group, in the 25 flights, we've taken 1,881.
And the cost to each veteran is?
Zero. Absolutely nothing.
How do you raise the money?
We raise the money through our guardians. Our guardians are the wonderful people who accompany each veteran on every flight. One guardian for one veteran. They pay $400 each, totally tax deductible. We're a 501c3. And then that leaves about $36,000 per flight that we have to make up. And that comes from donations of $1 in a jar, or in speaking to groups, they may provide, $400, $1,500. Sometimes we get companies like West Pharmaceuticals with a $12,000 outlay.
And Ray, did you get any sense what this flight and what this trip meant to the veterans?
They had a chance to bond with each other, which was special in itself. I think they were treated like rock stars throughout the day. They had the red carpet treatment, and it felt so special to them. I was wiped out by day's end, but they were still going. It was a long day, we began before 4 a.m. and got back at 9 p.m., and they were still going, and that welcome at the airport was like something I've never seen before. They had the organizers, Mark and all, had it all very well hidden. We didn't know the extent of the reception. Yeah. And we thought that one first room was all it was going to be. And it kept going and going and going all the way down the lobby. Hundreds were there. I got the chills, a tear in my eye. It was a wonderful, life-changing experience.
And you say it's a sprint to try to offer this trip to veterans while they're still here. But it's fair to ask, we have the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the first Iraq War, the Gulf War, and is the plan to continue this into the future so these other veterans get the same kind of honor that they absolutely deserve? That
is the plan, make no mistake, is that we in the West Central Florida hub fully intend to do that. We take them in war class right now, age class, World War II being the primary focus, and we're taking about 30% Korean War veterans on every trip. We've taken about 55 Vietnam veterans. If there is a Vietnam veteran or a Gulf War veteran that has a terminal condition or is in hospice care, they go on the next flight. They go to the front of the line, and we will take them.
Ray, what were the kinds of stories that these vets shared with each other in terms of their experiences during World War II?
They didn't get into a lot of specifics about the days 70 years earlier. I think they were more in awe of seeing these memorials for the first time. The World War II Memorial was, what, 10, 12 years old, right?
Yeah, 2005 it was dedicated.
So a lot of these fellas and women never saw it before, and they just took that all in. The Korean Memorial, they saw that for the first time. That's a very stunning memorial. And the Air Force Memorial, something very unique happened there. The Air Force was filming a commercial there with active veterans when we arrived. So they quickly changed gears and incorporated the World War II veterans into their commercial. It was quite a scene.
What about was there any interaction between these veterans and the active duty soldiers that you saw coming and going.
In Arlington there was. It was magical to watch that. You saw in my piece later in the day at the airport, some were arriving from Germany as we were leaving for St. Petersburg. Because of logistics and the layout of the airport, they didn't overlap. But seeing the older gentleman looking down at the first floor at the younger veterans arriving, it was like a thing out of a made-for-TV movie. It was just amazing.
And at one point, some of the veterans you were with had an interchange with some Asian folks. What was that like?
That was interesting. I was interviewing the two gentlemen from the Pines of Sarasota, Bob King and Bob Flint, when along came two Asian gentlemen with a camera and handshakes and salutes. And it was surreal to watch it all take place. And it was not lost on us that one of the Bobs had served in the Pacific Rim. And here he was shaking hands with an Asian gentleman years later. So a lot of stories within the big story that day.
And Mark, we only have a few seconds left, but how can people get in contact with Honor Flight?
HonorFlightWC.org, or go to our Facebook page at Honor Flight West Central Florida. To get an application, please have your friends, your neighbors, your relatives find the application, apply for a flight, and go with us.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you very
And
much
we'll
for the
be back in
opportunity.
just a moment.